Hi, I'm Steve Miletto from the Teaching, Learning, Leading K-12 podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Support for today's episode comes from the Institute for Education Innovation and the 2023 Soup's Choice Awards, the only education industry awards judged exclusively by school district superintendents. Coming up on episode 230 of the House of EdTech podcast, we are going to do a little back-to-school pep talk. We're going to get you ready. We've got a great recommendation. It revolves around AI and how to cite it. And we're going to keep the ISTE train going, and we're going to talk to my friend Christie Cloud all about Curipod. Strike up the band. Welcome to the House of EdTech. My name is Chris Nessie. The House of EdTech launched in 2014, giving me the opportunity to speak with teachers, leaders, and creators so you can more effectively integrate technology, strengthen your pedagogy, and have more confidence in your classroom and school so you can make an impact. Get involved with the podcast by visiting my website, chrisnessie.com. Using technology isn't difficult, and this is where it begins. This is the House of EdTech. And it helps if I unmute the microphone when I start to talk. Welcome inside episode 230. If you're a new listener, welcome aboard. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are making House of EdTech a part of your anytime, anywhere professional development. It is the middle of August here, 2023. We're a little bit away from my youngest son turning 8 years old. Oh my goodness, I'm getting old. And the start of the school year for me is coming up soon, just after Labor Day. And the ISTE train rolls on. Again, I had a lot of great conversations at ISTE 2023 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And today's conversation is with former House of EdTech VIP, Christie Thompson. But she's married now. She's Christie Cloud. So she got married since we had the conversation, so that's why I refer to her as Christie Thompson in the interview. So stay tuned for that. Again, there's a little bit of AI in this episode, and if you want a lot of AI, make sure you go back and you listen to episode 229 with Alana Winnick, where we talk about her new book and her perspective on the future of education and how artificial intelligence is going to play a role in that. So make sure you have listened to episode 229. Let's get into this episode's EdTech Thought, and it's time for a little back-to-school pep talk. We often hear about embracing tech in teaching, but what does that really mean for educators? Well, we're getting ready for a new school year here. 23-24 is right here. You might be in the thick of the beginning of it, or if you're like me, it's just around the corner. But what is embracing tech in teaching here at the start of the school year? First, it's about recognizing who you are in this educational landscape and understanding your untapped potential of the tools available to you. Over the years, teaching methods have obviously evolved, but so have the tools. It's a matter of chipping away at the apprehension and discovering the innovative educator inside of you. That's right, you are innovative. You've got to get comfortable with the technology, but that doesn't happen overnight. Remember, the first time you used a projector or an interactive whiteboard, it took a minute, right? But once you got the hang of it, it transformed your teaching. The same principle applies to newer technology. Practice and patience will be your friend. Now, the truth is, not every tech tool is going to match your teaching style or be right for your students. And guess what? That's okay. Consider using an app tailored for elementary school students in a high school setting. It might not fit, but there's a very large amount of tools out there. I talk about them on this show all the time. You just need to find the right fit. Trust your gut. Every classroom is unique, and like you, so is every teacher. Always ask yourself, how can this tool enhance my teaching? Who will benefit the most from it? When you choose technology that matches your teaching goal, it's going to integrate more naturally. Many educators hesitate due to previous tech hiccups or criticisms or maybe a poor evaluation. Challenge these notions. Perhaps you are wary of using a new app because of past issues. But guess what? That's in the past. Think about this. How many times have education techniques evolved? It's part of growth. It's natural. You have to replace this notion of things that are daunting with the idea that things are empowering. If you're on the fence about technology here at the start of the year, consider the possibilities it can unlock for your students. And I know you know this. That's why this is a pep talk. I want to remind you of the things that you know. Educators all around the world, schools all across the world, they are leveraging technology to reach students in ways they never imagined. You've got to continue to do that. Discover the right tech tools. Give them a try. Harness their potential. And remember that not every tool will be a perfect fit, but the right ones, they can be game changers. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back this year. Embrace the change. Embrace the challenge. Technology in your teaching isn't just the future. It's now. And that's my EdTech Thought. And now it's time for this episode's EdTech recommendation. Came across this on TikTok. I took notes on it, looked it up, so I apologize I don't have my source, which is funny because we're going to talk about citing your sources, specifically how to cite AI using MLA. And I know that many schools and grade levels use MLA. I know at the college level, we're using APA, but if you're using MLA or you're having your students do MLA citations, here's how you can cite an AI tool, prompt thing, okay? So you're going to put in quotes the prompt that you used, okay? Followed by the word prompt, period. You're going to then name the AI tool and the version with a date if you have it, comma, the company who made the AI tool, comma, the date you accessed said tool, comma, and then you're going to put in the general link to that AI tool. Again, I could repeat myself, but I recorded it so you can rewind it and re-listen to it. But if you check the show notes, which are a swipe or a tap away, I will have this written out in text form, and it will also be on the show notes page at chrisnessie.com/230. That's my EdTech recommendation. And now, before we get to the featured content, let's hear a word from this episode's sponsor. What's going on, you EdTech enthusiast you? Are you ready to make a real impact in the world of education? Well, I've got some exciting news for you. It's that time of year again. The Institute for Education Innovation is back with the 2023 Soup's Choice Awards, the education industry's most prestigious recognition of excellence in EdTech. What sets the Soup's Choice Awards apart is that it's the only education award judged exclusively by school district superintendents. These are visionary leaders who are at the forefront of driving innovation and positive change in education. And this is your chance to shine and get your groundbreaking product or EdTech solution in front of the nation's most innovative superintendents. The process is simple. Superintendents will carefully evaluate and recognize the best in each category. Imagine getting valuable feedback from these top education experts. It will be a game changer for your product's success. And don't worry about breaking the bank. The Soup's Choice Awards offers a low-cost opportunity to showcase your innovations to an audience that truly matters. But the clock is ticking, my friends. The deadline to enter is just around the corner, August 24th. Now let me highlight some of the exciting award categories for 2023. They're offering the AI-powered education solution, best gamification in learning, and excellence in special education, just to name a few. Whether your focus is on college and career readiness, family engagement, or keeping kids safe, there's a category for you to shine. So what are you waiting for? This is your moment to make a difference and impact in the lives of students and educators across the nation. Head over to the website soupschoice.com right now to learn more and enter the Soup's Choice Awards. Together, let's shape the future of education one innovative solution at a time. And don't miss the deadline, August 24th. And hopefully, we'll see you at the Soup's Choice Awards later this year. And thank you to the Institute for Education Innovation for supporting the House of EdTech. And now, back to the show. And we're back here at ISTE Live 2023 from the Canva mobile studio. Thank you to Canva for letting me set up shop here on day 2 or 3. I can't keep track of it, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're listening. And I am joined by, I don't like to say former House of EdTech VIPs, because then it's like you took the title away. So we are joined by a House of EdTech VIP and somebody who I've chatted with about podcasting. We've got Christie Thompson. What's up?
I am just living my best life here. I mean, this is like Disney World to me.
I call it EdTech Christmas.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Although I know not everybody does the Christmas thing, so if you want to insert EdTech Hanukkah or EdTech Kwanzaa, whatever you do, just throw EdTech in front of it.
Gotcha. See, I was thinking Disney World because, I promised the fiance that I would take him to Disney, even though 40, yeah.
Adults at Disney, not all.
I know, I'm like, maybe we should take a niece or a nephew just so we look normal.
You know what? I think adults at Disney, and we'll go sidetrack first, it's become more normalized, so continue living your best life.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping they got a nice bar there while he's doing his little Disney thing.
All right, so you are here at ISTE. Obviously, you're here to bring stuff back for your school, but you're rocking the Curipod gear, and that's Curipod. I think, and I said this on Twitter leading up to ISTE, that I felt like Curipod was going to be the EdTech company that stole the show and was going to walk away from ISTE making a lot of connections and, getting more out there. So for my listener who is not aware, what is Curipod?
It is possibly the best tool a teacher can have. It integrates AI, but it's on the teacher side, so you don't have to worry about, students using it and privacy concerns and all that stuff. So you're the one controlling it, and it creates presentations for you on whatever your subject matter is. And just like every other AI tool, like the more specific your prompt, the better you get. So you can put in like American Revolution and get a little bit, but what I found really helpful is if I take the actual standard and plug that in there, it gives you these fantastic lessons. And they just made it completely free for teachers. So since they started, they've had like a 5 free limit, but as of now, it is unlimited. All teachers get it for free. So you should really hop on that train if you have it. It's fantastic. They have all of these little generators, they call them, where you can personalize your lessons. Because, I like getting AI to do some of the work for me, but nothing you get from AI is ever perfect. So you can take it and you can tweak it to your heart's content. It integrates with Canva. It's great.
What are some of, first, real quick, let the listener know what your current role is in education in your school.
I am a virtual teacher, and I teach 7th and 8th grade social studies.
How will Curipod make your life easier as a social studies teacher?
In social studies, I think that, and I tell my kids this all the time, I cannot figure out how to teach history without lecturing. So there's got to be that.
Can I give you a tip real quick
element.
before we even talk about Curipod?
Yeah.
Here's the tip. Don't lecture.
Well,
I teach high school history. I don't lecture.
okay, but and I think maybe I'm using the wrong word for it. But there's got to be some sort of interaction with the kids where you present, where you give them the information. Maybe the presentation, maybe I'm using a wrong word when I say
I don't even do
lecture.
that. I'm
Really?
not slides heavy. You know, I put a lot of, again, so high school, not too different from middle school.
Right.
You know, ninth grade world history. And a lot of my kids were doing research. They're doing projects. So I'm not up there, Lord of the board, sage on the stage, the way I learned history, the way that you had learned history.
Right.
So I kind of let them discover and dive in.
Yeah, that's really good with student inquiry and personalized learning, and I love it. And I do a lot of that, but I mean, if I'm just being perfectly honest, I start with that element where I am like, here's what happened, here's that. And I doubt that I'm the only teacher that does that. And I probably do need to change it around a little more, but that's been kind of my comfort zone, is where you present the material and then we take the material and we do something with it. So Curipod just helps me in the presentation of it. All of the student activities make it a lot more engaging, and I learn new stuff all the time. Just like with this, I learned from Curipod how important brain breaks are, because I'm very, very much we got to get through all of these standards, and we don't have time for brain breaks. And Curipod has this whole brain break thing, and I was like, I don't have time for that. And I started reading some research on it about how it really is something you need to make time for, because kids they need a little time before they process so much information. And so I actually started putting a few brain breaks in there, and it worked really well. So, I learn something new every day.
Aside from that feature, what is something else that it helps you with, or another feature that you really like?
Okay, so, and I feel like maybe I'm making myself look back, so I'm already like, okay, I lecture, but I also hate grading. It is
What?
maybe
You hate grading? What kind of teacher are you? No.
Like, I love designing and I love discussing, and I absolutely despise grading. And I think it's really important that the kids are exposed to and are expected to write in every class, not just their ELA classes. And it works really well with history. But as a former ELA teacher, it also takes even longer to grade. So Curipod has AI-driven feedback. So you can personalize what you would like the feedback to give you, and you can see what the students put in. You can look at the feedback that it gives them before you send it out to them, even in case you don't like it. Then you hit a button, it gives them the feedback, and you can do that and stop. Or they have a new one that I actually recommended. I'm going to take credit for that. Something good I do besides lecture. But like they have it now where you can redo the prompt again, so that the kids have a chance to correct their writing with what AI told them, which has been very helpful.
And, that's what English teachers have been doing for a long time, where you've got to painstakingly review the writing, give the feedback, draft after draft, and now we found a way to speed that all up.
Keyword pain, yeah.
Outside of Curipod, what is something you're looking forward to in the coming school year? I know you might not want to think about it, but a little preview.
Well, I just got a grant from the state to get podcasting equipment. So I am definitely rolling with student-led podcasts next year. And in 8th grade, I do Georgia history. So I think that's going to be an easy starting point. I want to, of course, eventually get it in everywhere. But
Coming
I'm gonna
soon,
start
the
with
Georgia
it.
History Podcast?
Yes, by my kids.
I love it.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that.
If you need any help, I hope you know who to call.
Yeah, Marty, I'm going to pester him so much, he's going to be like, I'm changing my number.
That means I got to give you my number. I'll do that. That's cool. Christie, thank you so much for a few minutes here on the show, and thank you for sharing a little bit about Curipod. What's their website?
Just type in Curipod and it goes straight there. So go to Google, type it in. So Curipod, I don't know if it's a .com or a .org, but I know Google will help you find it.
Check the show notes. They're a swipe or a tap away where you're listening right now. And where can people connect with you?
Oh, Twitter, I am Ladybug Christie, but it's spelled X-I-E, so Ladybug X-I-E, and I love my Twitter PLN, so please give me a follow and I'll follow back.
Awesome. Thank you for being here on the show, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of House of EdTech. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe and follow this podcast so you can continue to make it a part of your anytime, anywhere professional development. Special thanks once again to Canva for allowing me to record at their booth at ISTE. Also, thank you to Christie for taking a few minutes to speak about Curipod. Make sure you go check out Curipod and see how it can change and transform teaching and instruction and learning in your classroom. To get the most out of the podcast, make sure you check out the show notes for this episode. They're a swipe or a tap away in the app you're listening in, or go out to my website, chrisnessy.com/230. I also genuinely enjoy hearing from you, and I value your feedback and your perspectives. Normally I give you the email address, and I tell you to leave me a voicemail at this point in the closing. But I want to prompt you to go to chrisnessy.com/Discord. Join the community and let's interact over there, where you can send me messages, interact with other people who listen to the show. So become a part of the Discord community. If you know someone who would benefit from listening to this podcast, I encourage you to share it with them. Spread the word on social media. Put it on X, put it on Threads, put it on Instagram. Spread the word. Your efforts, if you enjoy the show, will help me reach more people and have a bigger impact on education, and they will also get value from the show. Thank you for helping me expand the reach of the House of EdTech. Lastly, I'd love it if you would consider becoming an awesome supporter. If you're getting value from this content, these conversations, the recommendations, and you want to support the show, I would love that. I'm incredibly grateful for those who support the show episode by episode, and that includes Jeff Herb, Peggy George, Dan Gallagher, Mike Messner, Matt Miller, Brian Carpenter, and Aaron Cummings. If you are getting value from this show and would like to become an awesome supporter too, simply visit chrisnessy.com/awesome. Your generosity goes a long way in helping me continue to deliver exceptional content to you and the entire House of EdTech community. The next episode of the show is going to be episode 231, and we're going to be talking with Alfonso Mendoza, host of My EdTech Life, also a member of the Education Podcast Network. We got to sit down at ISTE. We're going to bring you that conversation on August 20th, 2023. Until next time, thank you for learning with me, and remember, using technology isn't difficult. Just give it a try. I figured I'd throw it in here at the end. I apologize for the way I sounded in this episode. It's August, and I've got a little bit of a cold. So, thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.